Good morning, one and all. Are we all looking forward to the start of the Premier League season? Oh, actually, I don't know why. Yeah, it sounded a little bit pantomimey, didn't it? The start to that, a little bit Bruce Forsyth. Nice to see you, nice. And it was sort of almost like, are we all looking forward to the start of Premier League season? If anybody actually did that at home, if anybody said yeah or no, you probably ended the video anyway. For those of you that are still here, today I've got an article which is the 3 key areas where West Ham need to strengthen. In fact, I've not read it. I'm gonna either agree with it or pick it apart. I wanna put this Batshuayi story thing to bed very quickly. Won't spend much time doing that, I can assure you. That's on the agenda for today. Before I do, if you would like to support or sponsor Hammers Chat, if you don't do so already via our Patreon page, we have 3 tiers. The first one, Hammers Chat supporter, that's $3.50 a month, £2.80. The next one, mild Hammers Chat addict. You like your Hammers Chat, but you can probably leave it alone a little bit. It's about $7. It's about £5.40 or something like that a month. The final one, $14 a month, your Hammers Chat addict. You cannot get enough of Hammers Chat. You've probably already subscribed. Loads of extra content, particularly with a new season coming up. It helps us out as well, and we'll be doing lots of competitions. And in fact, I've put something, I don't know, you might find it quite interesting, up on the Patreon page yesterday. Anyway, that's that. First of all, the link is in the description below, by the way, if you'd like to join us and support us on Patreon. Thank you. Batshuayi, I mean, come on. You know? It seems... Right, okay. Chelsea are buying Timo Werner. It's Werner, whatever you like, right? Chelsea buying him for about 50 million quid. So they've got Tammy Abraham there. As almost, I guess Tammy Abraham be the second choice. Olivier Giroud surplus to requirements. And, I mean, Batshuayi has been... Well, he's had more loans than Nat West since he's been at Chelsea, really, hasn't he? So he's not part of the makeup. It doesn't look like he's going to stay there for any prolonged period of time. He's been... there's rumours that Crystal Palace wanted him and we wanted him. And the price would be 40 million quid. Now, I mean, he has turned us... I think Batshuayi's turned us down on 3 separate occasions. I mean, if there's anybody that's given the cold shoulder to West Ham United, it's Batshuayi. So, look, the chance of it happening are very slim anyway. I think the chance of it happening at 20 million quid were quite slim. 40 million, not a chance. 40 odd million's our transfer record now. Give or take a couple of quid. I wager we won't be smashing our transfer record for quite some time. But 40 million for Batshuayi, honestly, they're living in cloud cuckoo land if they think they're going to get that. If that's what they're holding out for, they're going to be stuck with him. They've had some good players, Chelsea, and they seem to have played a loan system probably more frequently than most, but some people just don't work out for them, and, well, they're going to lose money on him. You would imagine so anyway. Don't get me wrong, he's not a bad player, but you see the reports, we are not paying £40 million. We ain't getting him. It's as simple as that. If we buy a striker, which I think we're going to get onto in a minute, because I think that's one of the 3 areas, it'll probably be from the Championship. Anyway, let me take you to this article, by the way. The article is called 3 Areas West Ham United Need to Strengthen in the Transfer Window. Opinion. It says opinion. It's their opinion. I would tell you, it's One Football. They used to sponsor. They don't sponsor us anymore. Actually, it's still not a bad app, in all honesty. As you can see, I still use it. It says West Ham have had a poor 1920 season and will have a single-point agenda of escaping relegation when the season resumes in 10 days' time. Yes, we know this. Manuel Pellegrini was sacked. We know that. Why tell us that? And Everton manager David Moyes was installed as manager of the club. Crikey! Get on with it. Well, me, I guess I should get on with it as well. Hammers are level on points with 18th place Bournemouth and just 2 above 19th place Aston Villa. If the London club do survive and stay in the Premier League, they'll need to make a number of changes again. Here are the 3 areas West Ham United need to strengthen in the transfer window. Opinion. They didn't write opinion again. Striker Sebastian Haller was brought into the club to help Hammers push to compete for a top 8 finish, but the former Eintracht Frankfurt forward, who was signed for a club record fee, has had a poor season, scoring just 7 goals in 27 Premier League appearances. Sounds a bit rubbish, actually, when you... Not great, is it? Just, less than 1 in 3. Not what we thought we would get him in terms of a return, certainly. It says the Hammers have not had backup striker to fall back on following the exit of Javier Hernandez, Lucas Perez and Marko Arnautovic ahead of the 1920 season. The club simply have to find an experienced striker who will provide competition to Haller and strengthen the attacking options for the Hammers. Okay, half of that I agree with. We need somebody to come in and either take the pressure off Haller, help him out, whatever the case may be. We seem to be shoehorning Mikel Antonio into that position, which I don't think he minds, and I think he makes a damn good fist of it, by the way. So I do think we need somebody there, but I would argue with it has to be an experienced striker. I'm not so sure, and neither's David Moyes, by the way, because David Moyes would like a young striker. And the Red Bull model, maybe someone like Timo Werner, funny enough, would be absolutely ideal. Look, I said earlier on about the Batshuayi thing. That's not going to happen. I guess he's an experienced striker, plays for his country and all the rest of it. I think we are going to strengthen it. I think we do need to strengthen there. And I think what we'll probably do, it will be someone from the Championship. It will be somebody like, Ollie Watkins at Brentford or something like that. And we've been linked with the boy at, maybe it's Reading. I'm not so sure. But it might be somebody just to give him a bit of competition. Like last season, I think it's Southampton by Che Adams, didn't they? Or something, it's... I'm not saying we buy Che Adams, but it might be something like that rather than necessarily experienced one. Right, the second one on their list, right back. Opinion. Right back has been another problem area for the Hammers, as they have not had a strong option in that position. Pablo Zabaleta, who joined the club after a trophy-laden spell at Manchester City, rub it in, is at the end of his career. Rub it into him as well. He knows. We know. Everyone knows. You don't need to say that. He cannot be considered an option for the first team anymore. The Argentine is set to leave the club, which leaves West Ham with just Ryan Fredericks as the right-back option, who hasn't yet convinced that he's good enough for a Premier League side that has ambitions to challenge for the top 8. I'm not sure we've got ambitions to challenge for the top 8 anymore, by the way. I think that ship has sailed. I don't think it's a poorly researched article because they've not said about the Ngakia situation, which would have given them a bit more flesh on the bone of the story, and Ben Johnson. But we need a right back. We know David Moyes likes Matty Cash, and we know that David. Well, we don't know that David. We think that someone at the club has been sniffing around Gonzalo Montiel from River Plate. I think I'd like to sign him. I just would like to say that a lot. Gonzalo Montiel. We'd have to think up of a nickname for him, no, wouldn't we? So I'm not better. I don't feel like I've bettered the fornicator yet. Unless anyone's got one. You got any? Anyone got any nicknames? If they could be a little bit innuendo-ish or a little bit rude, I think that often helps. On this show, at least, because anyway, we don't mind a bit of innuendo and a bit of smut on this channel. I can tell you. Right back, yes, we need a right back. I agree. The final one, see, the first one said centre forward. The next section, right back. They've gone a bit fancy with this one. Midfield conundrum. They haven't just said midfield. Midfield has been woefully short of depth. The over-reliance on the talented but young Declan Rice. Well, he's talented. You haven't seen but young. It's not like he's 30% less talented just because you said young. Has meant that the defence has been poorly protected, and the Hammers have repeatedly relinquished control of the midfield area against most teams. Okay. Mark Noble is in the twilight of his rubbing it in. Finished like Zabaleta. He's in the twilight of his career. Has not been able to shoulder too much responsibility. Has he not? I thought he'd take responsibility. And his shortcomings have been amplified due to the horrendous form shown by the other options. Oh, the horrendous. So, I guess he's talking about the young Declan Rice would be the other options, and Souček, horrendous. Snodgrass, horrendous. Everyone but not Mark Noble is horrendous or young. West Ham need a defensive midfielder, irrespective of whether Declan Rice remains at the club in the coming seasons. They need a solid midfield operator who can keep things ticking and aid or partner Rice in fortifying. Good word, fortifying. Normally associated with Rice Krispies, by the way. In fortifying the centre of the pitch, solidifying, I've gone with solidifying and fortifying. Solidifying the base will then make it easier for the management to tend to other areas of the pitch and make the unit a balanced one. Yeah, they've used a lot of words to not say very much there, which is something I particularly approve of. Why say something in one word when you can say 1,000? Anyway, look, on this defensive midfielder thing, is Rice not a defensive midfielder? I mean, he's been converted from a centre-half to a midfielder, and that's his position. What I do love about Rice, when things are going a little bit wrong, he will try and maraud up the pitch, and he will try and be the defensive midfielder, central midfielder, attacking midfielder. When the team's playing crap, he tries and gets his goal. I love that about him, but he's not that player. Rice is never going to score 10 goals a season or get 10 assists in a season. He's not an attacking midfielder. He is a defensive midfielder. So I'm not sure we need another one. I think Souček, if we stay up, then we make his deal permanent. He has got a great engine. I think he's a good partner for Rice, isn't he? I think so. I mean, if we're playing a 3, I'd like to see either a number 10 in there, you know, maybe one of the guys we've got, with the fornicator himself we've discussed. Look, Noble is going to need replacing sooner rather than later. But I'm not sure defensive midfielder is necessarily the one. If anything, I would get an athlete in there. Just someone that is box to box, a metronome, you know? And someone that can get some goals, someone that can just cover the pitch quickly. Because I do think we still, unless you've got maybe Anderson and Antonio in the team at the same time, I do think we lack a bit of pace. Souček does the miles. We know Fornals does the miles. Just very slow, you know, like a tortoise. A joke, by the way. Someone else fast, I think, would really benefit the team. Anyway, that's it. That's me lot. Right, 20 seconds of Peach England rapping again. He was good, wasn't he? Did you listen to it yesterday? You know him. He comments on these videos. He's very talented. He's even better at rapping than I am.
In my face, spit sick like vomit on this garbage like waste. I'm on some mask, get drunk like David Tash and E Swift. I'm on 3 spliffs like FrontDoors, pump your brakes, shots are secondary. I'm legendary. Open wide like you invited to stay. Lock behind, so next in line can't play. Got the lock, switch your keys out of date. No welcome mat, stop, turn back, walk away.